Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, America's #1 trusted resource for realtors who demand authentic, real-time coaching. Starring award-winning real estate coaches Tim and Julie Harris. Get ready for unfiltered, full-strength honesty about what is truly working to get you into action and make you money in this new real estate boom. Now to our hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
And thank you, Mr. Announcer. As he just said, we are your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris, and this is Real Estate Coaching Radio. Julie, welcome back to today's radio show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. We're going to have a lot of fun on this call, and it's a really critical topic, so I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. You know, this is something I've been hoping to present for the last 7 days, simply for the fact that this is information you guys absolutely positively need now. But we've had a lot of great guests and a lot of great other show topics with move selling out to News Corp and all the rest of it. So if you're listening to us for the first time, you guys want to make sure you go back and listen to the replays. Hey, listen, these radio shows are only half hour long. It's not like you're going to have to dedicate half your life to gathering the information. And you also notice that when Julie and I present on the shows that we're not actually featuring a guest or a co-host, we do get to the topics very quick, and we give you guys the actual meat of the material, and we don't waste time. So today is going to be no exception. I would suggest that this is going to be perhaps in all of the, hundreds of radio shows we've done so far, this might be one of the most important radio shows we'll ever do for you guys being the individual real estate practitioner, especially those of you who are getting your heads wrapped around the fact that the market is shifting, obviously, and we are in a long-term improving market, what we're calling a real estate boom, and this will continue to be an improving market. I know there was some real estate news that came out yesterday that looks like, home appreciation might be taking a slight slowdown, and I'm going to give that one a big who cares. I mean, appreciation for most of the country has been really above average and, not normal for so long anyway, that a little bit of a slowdown in appreciation will, frankly, give the market time to catch its breath and maybe, let's be honest, get these sellers pricing more realistically, and all these buyers you guys have had who haven't been able to buy something, they'll be able to actually purchase something. So a slight adjustment in the slower growth area of the real estate markets, nothing but a good. Don't read too much into that and don't freak out about it. So, Julie, I'm curious, your coaching calls that you did today or any conversations you had with any coaches, anything interesting that you're hearing coming up from all your students or all their students across the country?
Yeah, well, most of our clients, they are in the thick of it. They are in what I love to call listing palooza. We're actually increasing our listing inventory. They're not allowed to just say, well, I guess it's time for Halloween candy and it's towards the end of the year and I guess I'll plan for next year in a few weeks. We're not doing that. We're getting maximum listing inventory going into the holidays so that fourth quarter is nice and solid, not just income-wise, because we all know whatever you list spins off other great business to work on, but we're also setting them up to have a super fantastic first quarter. So it's pretty exciting. We're not slowing down. We're keeping the burners going here. And, you guys can take a break for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's fine. But until then, we have work to do.
And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about your fourth quarter plan. And today's radio show, what we're going to do is give you the exact step-by-step, and I think for the most part it's a very easy-to-follow plan for all of you guys to really get your butts in gear and make it so you carry momentum into the year. Right now, for the most part, most of you have the wind still at your backs. In other words, you guys are coming off good and sometimes great years. And if you aren't experiencing a good or great year, then you need to definitely request a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And if you are coming off a good and great year and you want to continue that momentum, obviously that offer stands for you as well, freecoachingcallsforagents.com. This is the time of year, guys, whether you know it or not, where you know what? There's no two ways about it. You are setting yourself up for a fantastic next year, or you're setting yourself up for a mediocre next year. Because, again, the momentum, the business, the relationships that you establish now, those are going to be the ones that carry you into fourth quarter, into first quarter. And if you have great momentum in first quarter, you're going to have a fantastic year. Think about that. When is the last time, and some of you experienced this because you've been our long-time coaching students, you know exactly what we're talking about, but when you roll into the year with a bunch of listings, a bunch of ready-to-go buyers, a bunch of, momentum from closings, then it's really easy to build on that and have a fantastic rest of the year. But some of you have never experienced that before. A lot of you guys, especially our newer listeners, you're listening and you're thinking, oh, my God, it's the fourth quarter. I want to start, carving my pumpkins and, basting my turkey. And the fact is that's a huge mistake. Now, I'm not suggesting that you ignore the holidays and not spend time with your family. Obviously, we want you to do that. But what I am suggesting is for you to unplug from real estate and not have a specific plan that's measurable, that's going to result in specific actions from you, then you're probably going to struggle next year, as maybe you were struggling for the beginning half of this year. So the bottom line here is what you do over the next 90 days matters more than you possibly can think. So I want to start out with a mindset question for you guys. The wealth you have is in direct proportion to the number of people you serve. Please write that down. Remember that. Never forget that. If you're not experiencing the lifestyle you want, if you're not experiencing the riches in your life that you want, and that can be measured in a whole bunch of different ways, but because we're your business coaches, we're going to measure it in terms of actual money. The experiences in terms of the travel, in terms of the lifestyle, everything. If you're not living the life that you hoped you would, if you're not providing the lifestyle to those that you love, if you're not able to contribute to the things that you care about in the manner in which you would like to, it's simply because the wealth that you have, and you're able to share for that matter, is in direct proportion to the number of people you serve. Bottom line, more people you're able to help at a high level, the more money you're going to make. Don't be confused about that. There's no formula that's ever going to tell you anything other than that. Some people will say it's a numbers game, and I suppose that's true, but the problem with saying it's a numbers game is it takes the mind off the focus of being the fact that we are in a people-helping business. So if you start convincing yourself that you'll be successful just from making more contacts, for example, that's not true. You'll be more successful when you, yes, make more contacts, but you're really, truly focused on offering a service that folks are willing to pay for. That takes skill. It is a mindset shift. The next point I wrote down, and then we're going to get to the four specific points of our fourth quarter business plan for you, is you need to ask yourself, what does urgency mean to you? So, Julie, when you're talking about urgency with your coaching students, and you're trying to explain to them that what urgency means to them is different than what it probably means to their clients, I mean, how long does it take for them to actually get that?
Yeah, well, usually there's the initial light bulb. Oh, well, I didn't look at it that way. A lot of people think that it's totally fine to call somebody back the same week, within 2 weeks, and then there's all these other weird rules that they put on it. If they emailed me, I have to email them back. It's not okay to call them back, all this kind of stuff. So we have to clear the air on that. Urgency means answer their questions when they have the question. So much more likely to actually turn into something. Think about how you act, how I act, right? If you want to know something, the person who answers that for you is the person who typically you end up working with. So urgency means now.
That's right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, hopefully, and when we come back, we are going to share with you the specific points of your fourth quarter business plan.
According to the National Association of Realtors, only 10% of agents complete an amazing 90% of all transactions because they have a coach. If you want the production and performance that comes with being a top producer, then you need one too. Not just any coach, but the leaders in coaching today, Tim and Julie Harris. Don't just take our word for it. Listen to what HGTV star and Atlanta top producer Colette McDonald has to say.
Hi, my name is Colette McDonald, and I'm with RE/MAX in Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to take a moment and give a shout out to Tim and Julie Harris. I've been a coaching client of theirs for the last 4 years. When I first started in this business 12 years ago, I was very successful, did a great amount of business, averaged between 8 and 10 million a year. When I contracted with Tim and Julie to be my graduate level coaches, my production increased by 20% per year. I am now trending 30 million this year. That's amazing results over 4 years of working with Tim and Julie Harris. I highly recommend them. Tiger Woods has a coach. And why does he have a coach? Because he can't see his swing. If you do what they tell you to, you will see huge results. I am living proof.
Only Tim and Julie Harris provide powerful one-on-one coaching along with all the lead generation systems, scripts, presentations, team building, and business planning tools you need to dominate your real estate market. We offer affordable pricing with no long-term contracts, and our entire coaching staff are trained professional agents with top producing track records. Take action now and visit us online at freecoachingcallsforagents.com to schedule your free coaching call. There's no risk, no obligation, just a free, personal, one-on-one call with a trained professional coach. Join the elite 10% of agents who make all the difference in today's market. Visit freecoachingcallsforagents.com to get started. Again, that's freecoachingcallsforagents.com.
In your notes today, I want you to title today's show, Your Fourth Quarter Business Plan. And there are 4 points to your fourth quarter business plan. Point number 1 is you want to start out your notes with specific goals. So what will you accomplish? Not what you want to accomplish, but what will you accomplish in the next 90 days, in the next 3 months? What will you absolutely accomplish? And I wrote down some ideas, and Julie, I think you probably have some of your own ideas too, because I knew you were helping a lot of your coaching students with this as well. So, one of the basic things that a lot of you guys need to consider is the money you're going to set aside for the holidays, right? How much money are you going to be able to have set aside to spoil your family, those people you love, you care about? Hey, existing coaching students, how about spoiling your coaches? That's not a bad idea, right? Julie and I like anything that's gold, just as a rule. How about this? Number of listings you will take in the next 90 days. Number of buyers you will, help find a home for in the next 90 days. Number of closings you'll have in the next 90 days. Another thing you got to think about is your center of influence, not just the people that successfully sent you a closed transaction, but how about anyone and everyone that is in your center of influence and past client list, of course, assuming you have one. Spoil them. Your best clients, those who did send you business, those who are in target areas that you want more business. Consider what we used to do every year is we get a nice bottle of wine, we put it in a little gift bag, and every Saturday morning we would go and, it'd take more or less basically almost all of November and December, as we would load the car up with so many bottles, we'd go knock on doors, and we would give them the bottles of the wine. And, most times we'd catch them in their pajamas, which was fine. But, it was an opportunity for us to give back to them. Why did we choose wine over something else? Because we sold real estate in Ohio, and oftentimes we were doing this when it was really cold. And as long as it's not white wine, for the most part, it won't freeze. Okay, so we are being practical with that. But you guys can give whatever gift you want to. Cookies are great too. So, Julie, other goals that these guys might set for themselves for the next 90 days?
Well, we are going into the holidays, and we've got all kinds of different clients. We have Mormon clients. We have Orthodox Jewish clients. We're in the Jewish holidays now, and, of course, we have all of you guys celebrating traditional, Christmas holidays, et cetera. So one of the rules that you need to follow for this fourth quarter, which is chock full of great holiday events, is to actually always say yes. When someone invites you over to their holiday open house, say yes. When the Chamber of Commerce is having a mixer where you could be amongst other business people and expand your center of influence, say yes. Yeah, you might not always feel like it, but it's too soon to tell where your next deal is going to come from. You all need to expand your center of influence, so just say yes. This is a great time of year, great opportunity for you to be getting to know more people to know you, and please always actually wear your nice-looking, very classy name tag. That way people, it's called reverse prospecting. They'll ask you about real estate, and the ones of you who are weird about talking about it will just have to get over that because they'll be asking you.
Well, but Julie, also, it doesn't matter what social group or whatever they're participating in. I mean, some of them, they might not be all that social. They might be real introverts, but they're part of different, clubs and things like that. Yeah. Guys, this is a time of year where people are, generally speaking, they're not as busy with work stuff. They're more focused on family. So you can actually have better, more meaningful conversations with people this time of year than you normally would. So, say yes is Julie's point, but also make yourself a little bit uncomfortable with putting yourself in maybe social situations you wouldn't normally do. It really does matter. And again, people are more receptive to having bonding, meaningful type conversations with folks. So it does matter. So point number 2, okay, so remember point number 1 was have at least 3 specific goals of what you're going to accomplish over the next 90 days. We're not saying 10 or 20. We're saying at least 3 to 5, because realistically, and you guys will understand this when we get to point number 2 here, realistically, you're not going to have as many working days as you think, and here's why. Now, everyone grab a calendar. This is point number 2. And point number 2 is how many days will you work? So here's what you do. Grab a calendar, and I can kind of walk you through this mentally if you don't have a calendar nearby, because a lot of you guys listen to us in replay as you're driving or exercising or whatnot. So just have a visualization of the calendar, starting with December, November, and October, okay? So you're going backwards. And I want you to actually mark out the days you will be working. Now you're saying, some of you are saying, oh, I'm going to be working every day. No, you aren't, because even if you're showing up to work, doesn't mean that anyone's going to be receptive to wanting to buy or sell a house with you. So what do? You have to be realistic. In December, realistically, you only have 2 working weeks, realistically. Now, will you be working every weekend? Realistically, you won't. So you need – remember, the first week in December is also basically tail-ending Thanksgiving, so there might be some confusion there too. We're being realistic. Now go back to November. How many actual working days do you guys have in November? Some of you have take a week off for Thanksgiving. You guys get the point here? So realistically, in November you have 2 working weeks. In December you have 2 working weeks. In October, then you know what? Whether you know it or not, most people don't work really the last week in October, which is kind of weird, but it's true, because you're going to want to sell a house to a buyer, but the buyer's going to be busy. You're going to want to go on a listing appointment, but the seller's going to be busy. You get the point? So in October, realistically, how many working weeks do we have left? Maybe 2. This is a reality check with a lot of you guys, I realize. So realistically, you have 6 working weeks left this year. Have you ever thought about that? That's the reason it's important that you have the calendar, you mark the days you're going to be working, or maybe you mark the days you aren't going to be working, the result's still the same, and then you work on the days that you're committing to work. And we're going to give you some specific things that you need to be focusing on. Remember, you started out with specific goals. Now you're setting this specific expectation as how much time you're going to set aside to get things done. And the next point number 3, and Julie, this one's for you, is have minimum standards for yourself every single day. So choose 3 to 5 daily minimum standards. Jules?
Yeah, for example, actual human-to-human contact. That's voice-to-voice or eyeball to eyeball, real human contacts. No, email doesn't count, texting doesn't count, the 5 newsletters that you put in the mail don't count. I mean, they count, but not as much as actual human-to-human contact. Daily minimum standards are something as simple as cherry-picking 2 expireds a day. And you guys have tons of expireds now. You're all complaining about more inventory on the market, more expireds happening. So rule number 1 is you're not allowed to be the one with the expired. You're only allowed to be the one going after the expireds. But cherry pick 2 in your favorite neighborhoods, put your pre-listing package together, and go door knock them. That counts as face-to-face. What would your business be like if you did that just 3 days a week? Even better if you make it a real daily minimum standard and do 2 of those every working day for sale by owners, for rent by owners, that sort of thing. Start writing your holiday greeting cards. If you take your past client and center of influence list and you divide it by 20 working days, it'll tell you exactly how many people you've got to be writing cards to per day to get through your list easily. How about calling them while you're writing the card and thinking about them? So real contact, daily minimum standards, that's what drives your business. That is the fuel that goes into the engine of your business. If you're not making contact, don't come crying to us about not having enough deals. You've got to actually talk to people.
It's easier, I'm going to say this again, it's easier and people are more receptive to contacts this time of year because that's sort of the social standard. We're not quite there yet, but realistically, you're going to really feel that. After Halloween, you're going to start noticing that people, even if they're kind of faking it sometimes, they're going to be much more jovial. They're going to be much more receptive to, this is assuming you're not standing in line at Walmart at midnight fighting with the other parents for the latest Beanie Baby, right? I guess those people are not very receptive and in the holiday spirit. But for the most part, when you go places, it's normal and natural for people to wish them happy holidays, or they're just doing more things that are more friendly, and it's easier to have nice conversations with folks. They're thinking about their families. They're thinking about, all those things that all of us look forward to. For the most part, we look forward to them. And I know, obviously, a lot of you guys have holiday stress and whatnot. By the way, actually staying focused and having a 90-day massive action plan where you focus on specific results will make it so you don't feel so much holiday stress because you are knowingly working towards the accomplishment of goals and you can see yourself doing these things every single day. So, 3 to 5 daily minimum standards also could be, physically doing something with your body, working out. 3 to 5 daily minimum standards could be all kinds of different things. But the bottom line is if you guys roll into fourth quarter without having 3 to 5 things that you're going to do every single day, no matter what, chances are you're not going to get anything done. Yeah, I get it. Come November and December, you guys don't want to necessarily be working as hard as you did in the spring. That's normal, and you know what? That's okay. But at least do not allow yourself to totally coast into neutral, and at least focus on building that momentum so that when you roll into 2015, you guys can kick some serious ass. Because listen, everybody we interview, all the economists, all the, everyone are all saying the same thing we've been telling you guys for the past 18 months, that we are in the very beginning stages of a long-term real estate boom, and 2015 is going to be better than 2014. So the next point that we wrote down, and this is, all these guys, you can notice all these points, and I, told you guys we don't waste time. We're not giving you fluff here. And the last point is, no fluff. Have specific things, a list of specific things that you will 100% have completed. 100% done, not just something that's going to carry into next year. So, Julie, give them some examples of things they'll have 100% done.
Well, some of these are big projects. Some of these are weekend projects. So if you want to have a quick sense of accomplishment, how about unburying your office? I like before and after pictures from my clients, okay? How about actually putting up your wipe-off boards that you have been procrastinating that are still in the wrapper, okay? So make your office an environment that you thrive in. That's an easy week or weekend project that you can absolutely get done and get a good sense of accomplishment from. Then you're going to move on to the bigger projects, but really critical, like getting your pre-listing package done. That's such a significant accomplishment. That can make all the difference to your success, not just fourth quarter, but certainly making next year your best year ever. What about the real estate treasure map, your business plan? Get that absolutely 100% done. So actually make the commitment to mastering something, your listing presentation, objection handling, correct pricing. Some of you guys are indeed sitting with more listings than you've ever had in your lives, and we've coached you to do that. How about doing what it takes to get them sold now? It's great to have them. Now you got to get rid of them, which is a nice problem to have.
The real estate treasure map, the cleaning of the office, the basically, going into your office with a big old garbage bag. And I'm not talking about the one you put in your kitchen trash can. I'm talking about the ones that you guys use when you're
garden bag.
Yard and garden bags, right. And you need to totally and completely gut your office. And, past awards. Anything that looks anything like the past. Your new year needs to start with a completely blank slate in your office. If anything, on your, following your real estate treasure map, your real estate business plan, you need to have the dry erase boards that we prescribe for all of you guys to use. You need to have a dream board up on your wall so you can remind yourself why it is that you're working. You need to have all your specific plans laid out for you for next year. Trust me when I tell you, and you guys can probably just feel this by having the thought in your head of having clean and organized offices. When you have all of that done, when you have all that clutter finally for some of you thrown out, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much more motivated. You're going to feel so much more, urgent for success. And that's a great real estate topic too. Like, how many of you guys are a radio show topic? How many of you guys are procrastinating success because you keep on putting in front of you all these to-dos? Well, how about now is the time to get those things done? Start with clearing out your office. Start with getting your treasure map done. Start with basically, finishing up the books that you decided you're going to read. This is a great time of year to do it. Go back and listen to past radio shows. A lot of you guys are in Real Estate Coaching Essentials, or you're in our advanced coaching program, the Breakthrough Coaching Program. Have you gotten your pre-listing pack done? A lot of you have not. Why? Why are you procrastinating that? Have you guys mastered the listing presentation? So there's another suggestion. We're just giving you guys ideas because you can personalize this around your own specific expectations. And obviously, if you're working with one of our coaches, then they can work with you on your specific goals as well. But how about really becoming good? Not just good, but how about this? Great at one or two things. Mandatory would be the listing presentation. Mandatory would be having the pre-listing pack done. But why don't you become really, really good at like the FSBOs, expireds, your centers of influence, and past clients? Why don't you become really, really good at lead follow-up? Why don't you become the best at something and master it in the next 90 days? How about that? Really challenge yourself. You see what happens, guys? And the whole point of today's radio show was you cannot lose the momentum. I started out by saying a lot of you guys have the winds at your back right now. You have momentum. You've worked to get to this point. Maybe you've forgotten how much work it actually took, but a lot of you are having, especially our coaching students, you guys are having your best years ever. You cannot make this your best year ever. You have to make it your best years ever, which means you cannot allow yourself to slow down in fourth quarter, because you will have to rebuild it all and put Humpty Dumpty back together again in first quarter of 2015, and that will suck. So please, guys.
Do it for us, because that kind of sucks for us, too, to have to put you guys back together in the beginning of the year. Exactly. I mean, if you don't do it for you, do it for your coaches, honestly.
Right. So if you feel yourself, the wind's at your back now, here's a visualization. If you feel the wind at your back, which a lot of you do, and you feel yourself slowing down and losing your momentum, it's because in essence, and this is a visualization for you, what you've done is you've turned around, you've reversed direction. So no longer is the wind helping you to gain momentum, but now it's starting to blow you down. It's starting to work against you. That is your decision. That is your choice. Don't buy off on the BS about, the market's this, or the slowdown's that, or it's that time of year. All those things are obviously true. There's fewer transactions that happen in the winter in most markets, Florida being, in Arizona. Other markets are an obvious exception. Palm Desert, where we have a lot of great coaching students. But the reality of it is that there are still thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of transactions happening and millions of dollars that are being earned. So you know what? You need to decide that you're not going to just allow yourself to coast into next year, because next year is going to be harder to start the year building momentum because of the fact that so many agents, you guys are seeing this, it's like a horse race, and the lead horses in your marketplace are getting an advantage and keeping an advantage, and they're consistently building on that advantage, and they're getting better and better and better. And if you're not understanding the fact that this market is what we call a bifurcated market, there's the agents that make the money and the agents that don't. There's not a lot of you guys in the middle anymore. You have to understand that the reason that the agents who make the money consistently are so powerful is because they know the types of things that we just told you on today's show, but not just know it, they take action on it. So now it's your turn. It's your turn. If you've had a great year this year, congratulations. 2015 has got to be better. If you've had a crappy year this year, okay, guess what? It was your fault for having a crappy year this year. Do something about it. Let us help you in any capacity we can. And if you're having the best year ever, as a lot of our coaching clients have, some of you guys are making more money than you know what to do with, and I congratulate you. Don't lose that momentum. Make 2015 even better. Remember, guys, it starts now. It starts now. When we have a radio show on January, the first week in January, and we're going to be, presenting some hopefully great topic then, maybe have a great interview. Some of you guys who listened and actually internalized and did something with this information, you're going to feel so powerful. Imagine how you'll feel going into the year with your office organized, going into the year with momentum where the wind is still at your back, going into the year with listings, going into the year with closings, going into the year with confidence. That's what we want for all of you. That's how you guys make a fortune. That's how you guys live the life that you want to live. Enjoy the things in life that you want to enjoy. This business is a blessing. It's, in my opinion, Julie's opinion, frankly, it's one of the best industries that you guys can, have ever, you made the right choice. You had a lot of options, and you chose to get into real estate. Congratulations. There's a lot of fantastic agents that are getting into the business, lots of professional background. We're seeing folks with advanced degrees. We're seeing people that were directors, executives. Guys, the competition is getting really, really good. The competition for your transactions into the spring are going to be fiercer than you've ever experienced before. Number of realtors getting into the business is climbing, and I'm telling you from our perspective, these guys are not the types of realtors that were in the business, say, 10 years ago, the part-time people that basically are going to work at Walmart as their other job. Nothing wrong with that, but the folks that are in the business now, they are serious. That's the reason I'm trying to impress upon all of you. If you wait, if you don't treat this month as the start of your next year, it's going to be harder to build momentum and restart your business next year in first quarter than it has ever been before because of all the things that we've been sharing with you on the past radio shows. So listen, guys, we are here to help you. Anything at any time we can do for you, request a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Now, you don't need to have a free coaching call before you actually enroll in one of our coaching programs. You can just go to timandjulieharris.com. We have 3 specific coaching programs that most everyone starts out with. The most popular one is the Advanced Coaching Program. Check it out. If you got any questions, if you want a free coaching call, obviously request one. We can answer more of your questions. But in the meantime, guys, understand your year 2015 has already started. What you're going to experience over the next 12 months, next 15 months, next 24 months is dependent on the actions that you take right now. Please, please be considerate of the future you. The future you is going to be really thankful for the current you for having listened to today's show. But not just listen, but take. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I mean, my thought was it's okay if you are the only car in the parking lot at your office. That just makes you like all the other top producers in the country, your peers, producers who are focused in the same way you are. They may or may not be in your office. So don't freak out if you seem like you're the only one working and it's going to just continue to feel that way. That just means you've got all the opportunity. That's exciting. I love fourth quarter.
That's right. So, guys, go back and listen to today's radio show. Existing coaching students, if you need any specific help getting your butts in gear, obviously request. You can, even if you guys are with one of our other coaches, you can always speak to Julie and I directly. Just chat up one of our admins, and they'll coordinate a direct call with Julie or myself. Those of you who have not yet become one of our coaching students, there's two easy ways to do that. Obviously, you can just go to timandjulieharris.com and you can enroll in one of our coaching programs. Advanced is definitely the most popular. Or, of course, you can request a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Guys, listen. We're all blessed to be in this industry. We're all blessed to be in a position to have such meaningful impact on other people's lives. Let's really take that responsibility seriously. Let's really seize the opportunity that this industry is presenting to us right now. Whatever we can do for you, we're here to help. I'll talk with you on the radio tomorrow.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows. And until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.